Welcome back to the channel. Coins Dealer. One of the most fascinating and valuable coins in US history, the 1983 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that despite its humble face value of just a single cent, has stunned collectors, historians, and numismatists alike by being valued at a staggering $$ per million due to a unique combination of minting errors, composition anomalies, and an incredibly rare mint mark mistake that has elevated it far beyond the expectations of an ordinary penny and into the realm of legendary status among coin collectors around the world. And in today's video, we're going to explore every little detail that contributes to this astonishing valuation, break down the error types, the historical background, the rarity factors, and the exact conditions under which such a coin could exist and be so valuable. So whether you're a seasoned coin collector, a curious history enthusiast, or someone who just stumbled upon an old penny and wondered what it might be worth, this video promises to unravel all the mystery. So let's start by taking you back to the year 1983, a year that followed one of the most significant changes in US coinage history, when just a year prior in 1982, the US Mint decided to switch the composition of the Lincoln cent from the traditional 95% copper and 5% zinc format that had been in place for decades to a more cost-effective copper-plated zinc composition consisting of 97.5% zinc and a mere 2.5% copper plating in response to rising copper prices, which made it financially unfeasible to continue minting pennies in their traditional form. And while 1982 was a transitional year that saw both copper and zinc versions produced, by 1983 all pennies were supposed to be made using the new zinc composition. But here's where the magic of the 1983 USD penny lies, because one specific 1983 USD cent, minted in Denver and featuring the D mint mark under the date, was found to be made not from the expected zinc-copper combination but instead struck on a bronze planchet, the very same composition used before the official changeover. And this shocking discovery turned the coin collecting world upside down, because according to official mint records and production orders, there should not have been any bronze planchets left in circulation or in storage to be used for minting by 1983, which means that this coin either slipped through a manufacturing oversight or was the result of a freak accident, or perhaps even a deliberate mint error. And in any case, its existence defies standard minting procedures, which immediately piqued the interest of collectors everywhere. But the value isn't derived from the material composition alone, because what also contributes to its rarity and astronomical price tag is the flawless condition it was discovered in, the crispness of the strike, the preservation of the luster, and the presence of certain die characteristics that suggest it came from a very early die state, all of which combine to give it exceptional eye appeal. And we're just getting started, because there's more. This particular coin also features other error-related elements that multiply its uniqueness, such as potential double die characteristics, off-center striking indications, and weight discrepancies, all of which support the argument that this coin is not just rare, but possibly unique. And in the world of numismatics, uniqueness is king, and while many coins can be considered rare due to low mintage numbers or limited circulation, coins that are outright unique due to errors or anomalies fetch far more on the open market, because they represent a 1 in a billion phenomenon. And the 1983 D penny in bronze composition fits squarely into this category, because while many collectors are familiar with the famous 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die penny, the 1983 D bronze cent is one of the very few error coins from the modern era that rivals or even surpasses those older legends in value due to the modern mint's strict quality controls, which makes the occurrence of such an error nearly impossible. And yet it happened. And when you factor in the mint mark, that D under the date indicates that it was produced at the Denver Mint, a facility known for its high volume output and usually stringent quality control, which adds another layer of mystery as to how a bronze planchet made its way into the coin presses for 1983. And some speculate that leftover planchets from 1982 could have been mistakenly used, while others believe it may have been an experimental strike or a rogue mint employee's work. But regardless of the origin, the end result is a coin that is both physically and historically anomalous. And weight tests are often the first way collectors can suspect they have one of these ultra-rare coins, because the standard 1983 zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams, while a copper penny from earlier years weighs around 3.11 grams. So if you happen to have a 1983 D penny and it weighs significantly more than expected, that's a strong clue that it might be worth far more than 1 cent. And this exact principle is what led to the discovery of the known 1983 D bronze cent, which, after professional grading and metallurgical analysis, was confirmed to contain the older bronze alloy. And after authentication by top-tier grading services such as PCGS or NGC, which also ensured that the coin was not a counterfeit or post-mint alteration, its status as a multi-million-dollar collectible was solidified, and even though only one such coin has been officially confirmed, the possibility remains that others could exist, unrecognized and hiding in old coin jars, forgotten rolls of pennies, or tucked away in someone's childhood collection. Which is why this story is so captivating, because it's not just about one coin's incredible value but also about the broader possibility that lightning could strike twice and that someone else, possibly even you watching this video, might one day stumble upon one of the few surviving examples of this legendary coin, and that's why many collectors today still scrutinize their 1983 AD pennies carefully, weighing them, examining the details under magnification, and comparing their characteristics to the verified specimen, hoping to catch a glimpse of something extraordinary. And let's not forget that mistakes at the US Mint, though rare, do happen, and the combination of a wrong planchet, the wrong metal composition, and the correct mint mark in a supposedly error-free year makes the 1983 AD bronze penny an unparalleled specimen, and because it's been valued and auctioned at around $$ for million, it's safe to say that the coin community treats this piece as more than a collector's item. It's a piece of modern American treasure, a numismatic miracle that embodies the idea that small things, even something as ordinary as a penny, can be of extraordinary value when circumstances align in just the right way. And stories like this inspire new generations of collectors to take up the hobby, to search their change, to understand history through currency, and to appreciate how even errors, often seen as mistakes, can lead to astonishing discoveries. And in conclusion, the 1983 AD bronze penny is more than just a coin. It's a lesson in history, economics, metallurgy, and human curiosity, and its value is not just measured in dollars but in the intrigue and excitement it brings to the world of coin collecting. So keep your eyes open, check your change, and who knows, you might be holding a tiny copper-plated ticket to a multi-million-dollar treasure right in the palm of your hand. The fascinating story behind a humble coin that most people might overlook, the 2010 D1-cent penny from the United States Mint, which due to an extraordinary combination of errors, rare minting mistakes, and unusual characteristics has reached an astronomical value of up to $7 million, far surpassing its 1-cent face value. And we'll explore exactly how such a common-looking penny can harbor the potential for such unbelievable wealth, a story that begins in the bustling production lines of the Denver Mint, where millions of coins are churned out annually with industrial precision, yet occasionally something slips through the cracks, a momentary lapse or flaw in the machinery or human oversight resulting in an anomaly. And these anomalies are what makes certain coins infinitely more valuable to collectors who seek out rare specimens with an eagle eye. And in the case of the 2010 D penny, several factors combine to create a veritable storm of interest in the numismatic world. Beginning with the misalignment error observed on some of these coins, where the obverse and reverse dies fail to strike the planchet in proper alignment, resulting in visibly off-center images that immediately raise eyebrows and heart rates in coin enthusiast circles. But that alone is not what pushes the value into the millions. No, it's the layering of multiple errors and features, starting with the D mint mark anomaly, an incredibly rare variety that shows evidence of a doubled or even tripled mint mark, likely the result of die fatigue or a misstrike during the mint mark application process, which in this case was manually added as part of a transitional phase in minting practices, further complicated by the use of a transitional composition, where certain 2010 D pennies have been found with the metal content inconsistent with that year's standard zinc-coated copper-plated planchets, instead appearing to contain higher copper content similar to pre-1982 pennies, which leads experts to believe a small number of leftover planchets from previous years may have been mistakenly used, adding yet another layer of intrigue and rarity. But we're not done yet, as some of these specimens also exhibit what's called a die clash, a phenomenon where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like impressions of one side on the opposite die and then transferring that misaligned ghost image onto the coins themselves, making for a bizarre and visually distinct appearance that can only be described as an accident of beauty. And when such a coin also shows doubling on Liberty's lettering or Lincoln's profile, known as doubling die error, the numismatic community takes notice, especially when these errors occur in conjunction on a single coin, which seems to be the case with this particular ultra-rare 2010 D penny that sold at auction for over $7 million, sparking renewed interest and scrutiny from collectors worldwide who have since started scouring their change, coin rolls, and old collections for similar specimens, and it's important to understand that the market value of such a coin isn't merely tied to the errors themselves but to the rarity of the combination of those errors in pristine uncirculated condition, preferably graded by third-party services like PCGS or NGC, with the highest values reserved for coins that receive an MS 68 or higher grade, which denotes a nearly flawless surface and strike, and in the case of the $7 million specimen, experts confirm it exhibited a full suite of anomalies: a misaligned die, double die, mint mark anomaly, off-metal composition, and die clash, essentially a perfect storm of minting errors in a single penny that passed through unnoticed into circulation, possibly sitting in a drawer or coin jar for years until a sharp-eyed collector noticed its unusual characteristics under magnification, sparking an authentication process that ultimately led to a record-breaking sale. And what's more exciting is that while such perfect specimens are exceedingly rare, less dramatic but still valuable variations of the 2010 D penny continue to surface, each commanding impressive prices from dedicated collectors eager to complete their error coin collections, with even minor doubling errors or slight mint mark inconsistencies fetching hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially when accompanied by authenticated provenance and clear imagery. And there's also speculation among experts that some of these coins may have been struck using experimental dies or planchets as part of internal testing at the Denver Mint, which, if proven true, could add another layer of historical and technical significance to these coins, driving demand and value even higher. And with the 2010 D penny being part of the Lincoln Shield series introduced in 2010 to replace the Lincoln bicentennial designs of 2009, it also carries the distinction of being the first year of issue for a major design change, which in itself adds appeal to collectors focused on transitional year coins. And it's this convergence of minting history, error variety, and collector enthusiasm that transforms what appears to be a common coin into a numismatic legend. So next time you come across a 2010 D penny in your pocket change, don't dismiss it, inspect it carefully, look for doubling on the text or portrait, check the alignment of the obverse and reverse, scrutinize the mint mark under magnification, test for weight inconsistencies that could indicate unusual metal content, and consider submitting any suspect coin to a reputable grading service, because who knows, you might just be holding a multi-million-dollar anomaly in your hand, a tiny copper-colored marvel born from a fluke of manufacturing and transformed into a treasure by the passion and precision of coin collectors around the world. And as more discoveries continue to be made, the story of the 2010 D penny only grows more fascinating, proving once again that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value, and the true worth of a penny might be far more than meets the eye. And we'll keep exploring these hidden treasures together, so make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates on coin values, rare finds, and everything you need to know to turn your pocket change into a potential goldmine. Today we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing stories in numismatic history, a tale that sounds almost too incredible to be true, and yet it's rooted in real collectors' passion, minting anomalies, and the power of rarity in driving extraordinary value. So buckle up and get ready as we explore how a humble 1980 AD Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin you'd think was worth just a single cent, has become a multi-million-dollar marvel valued at an eye-watering $8 million by experts and enthusiasts due to a remarkable combination of minting errors, historical quirks, and sheer chance that together elevate its status from everyday currency to legendary collectible. Because when it comes to coin collecting, especially in the world of US cents, small details can spell huge differences in value, and that's exactly what we see with this particular penny, a coin struck at the Denver Mint in 1980, a year when billions of pennies were churned out in copper-plated zinc form, as the US Mint had just recently transitioned from the full copper composition used pre-year 1982, and amidst those billions, hidden in plain sight, lies a mysterious penny with such peculiar traits that its value skyrockets beyond comprehension, starting with its mint mark, where the D for Denver is anomalously doubled or misplaced in a way unseen in other known examples, possibly due to a mechanical doubling or a repunching error from the die itself, a rare occurrence that only happens under very specific mechanical circumstances involving wear or misalignment in the die-making process, and such double dies or repunched mint marks are the bread and butter of coin error enthusiasts, often adding substantial value. But what pushes this coin into the stratosphere isn't just the mint mark, it's also the possibility that it was struck on a leftover planchet not intended for a penny at all, potentially a foreign coin blank or even a transitional planchet from an earlier coinage era, which would explain unusual weight or coloration under X-ray fluorescence testing, and if this hypothesis proves true, it would mean the coin was essentially born in error from multiple perspectives: wrong planchet, doubled or misplaced mint mark, and possibly an obverse reverse die mismatch, where the front and back of the coin belong to two different design types, an error so rare that only a handful are known to exist in all of US coinage history. And then there's the strike quality itself, which experts say appears unusually sharp for a cent of this era, suggesting it might have been struck more than once or with higher pressure, either due to a test strike that mistakenly entered circulation or a production hiccup that resulted in extraordinary detail and luster. And that's not all. Some numismatists have speculated that the coin might carry micro-die cracks or cuds, small raised areas caused by damage to the die itself during minting, that can create unique markers not replicable in other coins, essentially branding it with a fingerprint of authenticity. And when you combine all of these factors, you're looking at a perfect storm of minting anomalies that turn an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime find. But even beyond its physical attributes, what truly makes this coin so valuable is its story, the legend that has built up around it, with collectors fiercely debating its origin, its classification, and even whether it was meant to exist at all. And as with all great rarities, the mystique only adds to its appeal, fueling demand and inflating price to near mythical levels. And that's why when this coin reportedly changed hands in a private sale for close to $8 million, it didn't surprise the top players in the field, because for the right buyer, a coin like this represents more than metal and rarity. It's a piece of living history, a symbol of how chance, error, and human oversight can combine to create objects of immense cultural and monetary worth. And in the case of the 1980s D penny, all the puzzle pieces fit: rare mint mark anomaly, possible wrong planchet, extraordinary strike detail, potential die mismatch, unique surface errors like cuds or die cracks, low population if not unique status, a swirling numismatic debate, and the ever-important allure of the unknown, because even today there's no full consensus on how or why this particular coin came to be, only that it exists and it defies the conventions of what a penny should be, and that makes it a numismatic unicorn, a coin so valuable not despite being a penny, but because of it, because it defies our expectations of value, turning the idea of just a cent on its head and showing us that even the smallest coins can carry the greatest worth, provided they're struck by fortune, error, and mystery in equal measure. And as more collectors search for their own lucky strike in jars of change and forgotten piggy banks, this 1980s D penny stands as a shining beacon of what's possible when the mint makes a mistake and the world pays attention, a reminder that treasure can hide in plain sight and that the right combination of errors can be worth millions. So whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, keep your eyes open, because the next multi-million-dollar coin could be hiding right in your pocket.